Let's talk about step 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood God, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. I'd like to focus on prayer and meditation, equally weighted. What is meditation? Now, the trite answer is that prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening for God's answer. In general, meditation means sitting in a quiet place and trying to think about nothing. Trying to think about nothing. Have you ever actually tried to think about nothing? Do you know how many thoughts go through your head on a given day? And do you realize that most of the thoughts that you think in a given day are the same thoughts that you thought the day before? Our brains ruminate. They go over and over again. Oh, I got to pay the bill. Oh, this. Oh, that. Oh, this hurts. Oh, that hurts. I got to go here. I got to go there. It's a nonstop chatter. And the purpose and the goal of meditation is to quiet your mind. For beginners, here's what I recommend that you do. Go to YouTube and type in 10-minute guided meditation. Now, we're going to try to do some guided meditations on a different program, but for now, just type in 10-minute guided meditation. If you're Christian, put in 10-minute Christian meditation. If you're Baha'i, put in 10-minute Baha'i meditation. If you're Mormon, put in 10-minute Mormon meditation. Or just check out whatever you want. You'll get 1,000 hits. So what you do is you go down the list and you click on them until you can find one where you can stand the person's voice. Because there's nothing worse than listening to somebody that you don't like listening to. Okay, everybody, now get quiet. Sit with your feet on the floor. No, probably not going to do that one. But that might be perfect for you. You might want to hear somebody just like that. So you go through and you listen for about 30 seconds until you find one that you can stand, and then sit and do the 10-minute guided meditation with them. It's a great place to start. Now, for me, I'm going to tell you a little story about how I got started into serious meditation. I had my own system. I had my own program. And I didn't realize that I was kind of using it as spiritual snobbery. You know, I would sit down and do my daily readings and I do my meditation cards, and I thought I was meditating, but I was never really quieting my mind. So some of you know that I've gone through quite an interesting battle with the Department of Justice and with the federal government. And right after all of this stuff went down in 2018, I was pretty distraught and I was upset. And I looked over on my bookshelf and I saw the book. Now, this had been given to me years before by my buddy Barney, right? And it had been sitting on my shelf and I never looked at it. And I walked over toward the shelf to grab it, and it fell out of the shelf on the floor. And I thought, okay, all right, yeah, hoo-hoo, let's check it out. And this is written by a book written by a guy named Ed Beckley. Now, Ed Beckley was the original guy on TV that was doing infomercials back in the 80s. Buy real estate, nothing down. The Ed Beckley program. And Ed was worth $60 million when he was taken down by the Department of Justice. And after spending millions of dollars on legal fees, he ended up going to prison for a year for fraud. And he ended up coming out with the book, The Dance of a Rich Yogi. And I read this book, and the more I read it, I got, oh my goodness, this is absolutely perfection of prison, living life on the edge. And he talks about his time inside and how he got through utilizing a program of meditation. So I Googled the guy and found him on Facebook. And sure enough, he was still kicking and alive. He's passed away since. He passed away about a year ago. But I sent him an email and he wrote me back. And I gave him a call. And thus began about a 3.5, 4-year friendship where Ed Beckley pulled me through the darkest of times, became my mentor, became my teacher, became my friend, and taught me the process of transcendental meditation. Now, transcendental meditation comes with a lot of baggage. You have to be able to sort through and use what you can. But I used the technique and I used the method, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It involves going through a series of sutras, which is literally in Sanskrit, I think, stitches that kind of stitch your program together. And it's designed so that if you go through it step by step and follow the directions, when you get to the final stages of your stitches or your sutras, friendliness, compassion, kindness, strength of an elephant, blah, 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 blah. You go through this process, breathing as you go. You get to the point where you ask yourself the question, what is the distinction between finest or highest thought and transcendence? And when you get to that place where you say the word transcendence and all thought stops and all becomes quiet, and you can quiet your mind. And sure, little thought will come dancing across power bill, power bill, power bill. A lot of people have different ways to get away with them, to let them dance off into the sunset, or they have a vortex over their head and they let the thought go up into the vortex and your mind goes quiet, quiet, quiet. Empty of thought, empty of self. Duality vanishes. You sense, you become oneness. You fill yourself with love. You pour it out to others. You think about your friend in Ohio. You think about your friend in Washington State. You say their names and your kids in Portland and Mexico. Your family and your mom and your friends in the area. And you visualize each of them. Terry and Victor and Andy and Ruth, Barney. Your enemies, the people who despise you. You focus on them. You fill yourself with God's love and you pour it out. Shambhala. And your mind gets still and quiet. And in the process, your brain releases endorphins and serotonin and oxytocin. And you feel better. And you're ready to start the day. Oh, look, it's 6:30. I'll go make the coffee. What a way to start your day. Thanks for joining us. This is Dr. Tom. If you like this content, please hit like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, share, and check out the suggested videos if you would on the way out. Thanks again.